Most hockey players tend to focus their time on the physical part of their game, such as their skills and fitness. But what if I told you that you are missing out on something else that not many coaches talk about? In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 reasons why you aren't performing your best. Stay tuned. Hi, my name's Lauren Penny. I'm a former international hockey player and performance coach from the Hockey Performance Academy. Now, although I believe that both skills and fitness are both important components in sport, I believe what gives a player or a team a massive advantage is how they think and what is going on in their brain. In a game, this could be demonstrated by having the confidence to take a risk, even though there's a chance that you could mess up, or stepping up to take the penalty and scoring, despite any fear, doubt, and pressure that you feel. It could be how you react after a mistake, or staying focused on things that you can control when things don't go your way. How we think affects the decisions that we make and the actions that we take. So next time you make a mistake, I want you to ask yourself this: was it a physical error or a mental error? Physical errors simply mean we need to spend more time practicing a skill with no pressure. Mental errors are common in game situations. They happen when we can do something in training under no pressure, but we are not executing them in a game situation when there's more riding on the outcome. For example, if you can do a skill well 8 times out of 10 in training, but you're only doing it 5 times out of 10 in a game, that means that 30% of your mistakes are mental errors, not physical errors. Nowadays, there's so much emphasis on developing the correct technique because coaches are trained to correct our physical mistakes. But this can be very frustrating for a player when the real problem is a mental mistake. Most coaches and players don't really understand the mental game or how to improve it. And one of the problems is that there's often a negative connotation attached to the word mental, as though you're not normal or you belong in some kind of an institution if you feel fear, which couldn't be further from the truth, because it's human nature to have fear. But just because you don't understand something, it doesn't mean that you should ignore it. Many people will agree that the mind plays such a huge part in sport and life too, in fact, and it's often what separates the good from the great. But very few people understand how to unlock this inner power and the control that we all possess. This was evident in my own journey when I went from missing out selection as a junior hockey player to making my senior international debut just a few years later. The difference wasn't any new physical skills, but instead I learned how to think like a champion. I developed emotional intelligence, which resulted in no longer letting other things affect my performance. And I started to believe in myself at every level, not just on the surface. Now, working as a performance coach, I look at the bigger picture for each person that I work with, often taking every factor of performance into account. And to this day, mental game training has proven to make the biggest impact for all the players I've worked with, ranging from teenagers up to over 55-year-olds, international master players. The reason it makes such a big difference to sport is because it's not something we're often aware of, and because no one talks about it or teaches it. The challenge is getting players to realize that they can be better if they embrace mental game training. And working on your mental game does not mean that you're weak. It's a sign of strength, because it means that you want to keep improving yourself. My aim is to help you to see how much more consistent you can be if you're willing to open up and be honest with yourself and how you feel, instead of just pretending that everything is okay. How we think is just another skill, and it's an important part of sport, which may just need to be developed, whether you're a player or even a coach. Without an inner confidence and belief in your ability, you will probably not get as far as you can, because if you can't convince yourself, how can you expect to convince others? The good news is that even if you doubt yourself at times, or if you lose your cool, then there is something you can do about it. And just like any other skills, your mental game can be trained, so that you can start to feel more confident and in control of your performances. Mental game training is not just for elite level players. It's something that anyone can improve and get out of their sport, whether it's to be more confident, overcome the fear of failure, beat those little distractions, manage frustration, anger, perform under pressure at trials, or even in those big games. So you may be wondering, how do I stop getting in my own way? First, you've got to identify why you aren't performing. So here are 3 of the most common reasons. Number 1, you're psyching yourself out. Many players often worry more about what might go wrong before the game even starts, rather than just thinking about what might go well. I call these the what ifs, such as, what if I don't play well? Instead, focus on what might go well, such as, what if I have my best game? Or what if I use a skill that I've been working on in the game today? Number 2, you're dwelling on the past. As an attacking player, I've missed plenty of open goal opportunities, just like most. So when you make a mistake, the important thing is how quickly you can move forward and get ready for the next opportunity. If you're still thinking about the last mistake you made, you're probably going to do the same thing again. If things are not going well, then go back to basics and just focus on getting the simple things right. Instead of dwelling on your past mistakes, focus on what is important in each moment of the game so that you are ready for that next opportunity. Number 3, don't be so hard on yourself. We all have conversations with ourselves on a daily basis. People often say negative things about themselves without even realizing it because they're so used to that way of thinking. Start to become more aware of that conversation that you have with yourself. For example, when you make a mistake on the field, do you think things like, oh, that was so stupid, or why am I such an idiot? Remember that your mind communicates with the rest of your body, which affects your body language, your behavior, and ultimately your performance. And others will see it too. Start to identify if the mistakes that you're making in a game are physical or mental errors. Now, these are just a few examples of how we tend to get in our own way, and there are many more. So if you would like to learn more about how to become a better hockey player and how to take your game to the next level, then start by checking out my free training on the 8 steps to reach the next level in hockey. Simply click on the link in the description, and on that page, let me know where to send it. Once you've done that, I will email it to you. Thanks for watching this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch.